Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth, and in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about powerful signs that your ex misses you. When you're in no contact and you could be going through a long period of no contact and just kind of feeling hopeless that the situation will ever change, understanding the signs or seeing the signs can be really helpful. Now, one of the things that I always try and tell you guys to do is focus on personal growth in no contact. Do the work. That is why I created workbooks. There are 10 volumes of them, and the Creative Healing course has even more than the workbooks do. There is so much that you can do to really focus your energy on in no contact. Because if you just stay obsessed about where your ex is at and what they're doing, when they do reach out, and believe it or not, they often do, you're not prepared. And one of the things that I hate seeing people go through is get another chance with their ex, and they're not ready. And it happens a lot more than you would think, okay? And they feel terrible when that happens because one day your ex is going to reach out, you're going to be shocked, and a lot of what you think you've learned in no contact, you'll forget, and you'll realize it was only stuff getting you through no contact. You're not actually growing or learning or going to get in front of them and truly show those changes. When you do that, you are going to have a much better chance of repairing that connection. So please make that your focus every day. I know no contact is difficult, but getting in front of your ex, staying centered, and showing that you've grown is even more difficult. Because remember, they're going to doubt you. They're going to doubt that things can get better. So what are some of these signs? Let's start and go through the easy ones at first, like them watching your stories. With social media, the game is completely changed. Everybody knows what everybody is doing. Be careful about what you post or don't post. Many of you guys post way too much. Sometimes I see who's going through a breakup. People that I've known on the different social medias for years, I'm like, oh, they're going through a breakup. It's so obvious, right? Don't do that. Don't expose yourself in that way because they can see right through it. Okay, these little games that you think you're secretly doing, they can see right through and it turns them off. You want to show confidence, okay? So what might your ex do? Because your ex is going to give these little signs away where they can't hide it, and it's going to be confusing. But watching your stories, especially if they're watching the second you post every time, right? Because they can't even help themselves. They can't even say, I'm going to watch later. They are impulsively watching. Liking old photos. This doesn't happen as often, but sometimes they can scroll back and accidentally like something too. And they're like, oh, and then they unlike it because they realize they've been caught, going all the way back in your social media like Instagram. Okay, here's another one that happens a lot. Like the little fire emoji or the heart react to something you've posted, a picture or something like that. Now it shows that they're not just watching, they're liking it. And they want you to see, they really want you to see that you're trying to connect. You're making a tiny, tiny bid to connect with you. Okay, this one I see a lot when the ex is getting kind of unstable about things, and that is the blocking and the unblocking. It's like they're trying to get your attention, especially if you've left them alone and you've stayed in no contact like we ask you to do or recommend that you do. And all of a sudden they're blocking you and unblocking you. It doesn't make a lot of sense because it's like, well, I've left you in peace. Why would you get upset here and block me or reblock me? So when you see that, it often means that they're cracking and they can't make a decision. They're back and forth in their mind. Okay, so some more signs that you might see that your ex is really struggling with this breakup or they're missing you is if they're leaving your photos up or they're leaving them up at their place I see that often. Maybe you have to go by to pick up stuff and you see your photos are still up in the same places. That's a good sign that they're having a hard time with letting things go, right? Because why are they leaving them up if they're really over the situation or over you? Okay, I see this one a lot. Posting pictures of them wearing jewelry or clothes that you gave them. It's like they're trying to get a reaction from you. Don't fall for it. Please do not fall for it. It's like they have to do barely anything to get your attention. You don't want to do that. Posting songs or little things, maybe it's a concert you went to or a movie you really liked that they know that you liked or you went to together, and you kind of feel like they're about you. Sometimes they're like memes or poems or things like that, and you're not sure if it's about you, but you're pretty sure. That's a good sign that they're missing you and they're thinking about you, and they can't help but put it out there, right? Because if they were really over these things, they would be, putting the pictures away. They wouldn't be posting things or, things that you really enjoyed online. They're just not going to do that. Think about it. If you're truly happy, you don't do those things. Okay. The spying and the checking up. Okay. You may have fake accounts popping up on your profile. I hear that often. They create fake accounts, right? I know I've had exes that did that in the past too. So if you're seeing accounts that look fake, could be your ex, or it may be a friend of an ex. Now here's another one that goes with friends and family. Sometimes their friends and family will ask you how you're doing out of nowhere. Now, I've seen this recently where they were in a rebound relationship and the rebound relationship fell apart. And next thing you know, their friends and family are reaching out. Why? Because they're scared. They're afraid you're going to reject them. So they ask friends and family to do it. Don't do those things if you've been dumped, please. If the dumper does it, I'm okay. I'm okay with him doing it. You can play your sneaky little games. It's fine by me. But you don't want to do it as the dumpy. This one happens a lot too. Showing up at places they know you're going to be, like the gym. That's a big one I see. Church I see often too, especially if it's a day or time where you would normally go and they wouldn't. That's a big sign that they're trying to run into you and get your attention. So as you could see, these signs have slowly, progressively been a little bit more intense, right? So what do we have next? They've been sneaking and doing these sneaky things, showing up, but not quite talking to you or something of like that nature, like church or the gym. But now they actually reach out and they do it with an excuse. This is what I call the indirect direct approach, okay? I started seeing this many, many years ago. You often hear, I miss the cat. For some reason, it is the number one indirect direct approach. If you've heard it, leave a comment because I don't know why it's often I miss the cat. They don't want to say I miss you. They don't want to say I was hoping we could talk. They're afraid to do that. That's a big bid to connect, and they're afraid of that rejection. So they say I miss the cat. Sometimes they'll contact you about things that you'd really have no interest in. Hey, I found those old pair of shorts and this t-shirt of yours, and you're just like, well, I never even wore those. Might be something old and dirty or whatever, or unimportant, and they're contacting you about those things. Okay, that's a good sign that they're missing you and they're looking for an excuse. Because if they're really angry at you and they don't want to talk, they're not going to contact you for those things. They might have to about certain things, but they're not going to reach out for petty or unimportant things. Okay, here's another one. Random little questions they don't really need an answer for. They will give you these weird questions, and I can't think of any particular examples off the top of my head because they're always so obscure. but you're like, I don't understand. Why are they asking me this? Sometimes it's not even something that they need you for the answer for. Like, sometimes it could be relevant and you could give them an answer, but they could still get it elsewhere. Like maybe it could be a work-related thing, but it's like, well, why are you asking me when they could ask their coworkers, their other coworkers, right? So that could be a sign that they're missing you and they're just looking for a bid to connect. I know it's hard to believe that the tables can turn over time, but they can get to a place where they know they have to make a bid to connect with you. They have to reach out, and they don't really want to look vulnerable. They don't want to get rejected. So that is why people often use these kind of excuses. All right. Now, if you start to see this stuff, this is the stuff that can be really telling. I'm talking about the stuff where you can see a shift in their energy. You can see that it's no longer angry and cold and hostile. Warmth is a big one. For example, they may look for an excuse to drop some stuff off for you. And they're asking you when you're home. They're not saying, I'm just going to leave it, in the bushes or on the side of your garage or something like that. They want you to be there. There's a reason for it. And, these aren't always obvious, right? These things can be really confusing. So these are a lot of the details we can get into when we're talking on a Zoom call, right? Because I can get the nitty gritty and put all the pieces together. So these are kind of generalized, right? Now, if they're around you, you want to look to see, are they, trying to look attractive? How's their affect? Are they relaxed? Are they pleasant? Are they laughing at your jokes again? That's a good sign. If they are laughing at your jokes again, that is good. Now, like I said, dressed up. Are they trying to look attractive? Are they wearing something you bought for them? That is a big one. Okay? They often will wear something you gave them. Okay. Staring a little longer. Any kind of touching is a big indicator. A good hug, like something like not one of those awful side hugs, like a real hug. And of course, if they're flirting. And sometimes it could be hard to tell if they're flirting or not because you're so anxious about the situation. But all these are really good signs. Okay, here's another big one. Bringing up future plans that could include you. If you hear anything like that, it means there's some kind of interest, or there's very high probability that there's some kind of interest, right? Showing emotion, that they care for you, concern. Do they look jealous that you might be dating other people? Are they asking you, are you dating anyone? Tears, it's a sign that they still care. Any kind of apology is a good sign. Here's another one. This is one of my favorites. Okay, if I see this is big. Taking accountability for the relationship not working. In other words, in the beginning, they're often blaming you, and it's all about everything you did wrong. But if I see that they're taking some accountability, that is a big sign in my book that they are missing you and they are really considering things. Now, this is a big one that I say all the time, okay? When you finally get in front of your ex again, a lot of times, if you just keep your mouth closed, they're going to start to tell you a lot of stuff about what's going on in their life. Stuff that they were very private about after the breakup or would hide with you. Now they're telling you everything. That's a really big sign. Asking about your life, your friends, your family, what's going on, your job, all those things. Those are all big. And of course, if they're emotional around you, if they're telling you that they're afraid of losing you or that they've reflected on things and to realize, the relationship wasn't as bad as they had made it seem, or that they miss you, those are obviously big signs that they are interested in turning this around. Look, the bottom line is that no contact will make them feel the absence if you do it like we suggest you do. And that includes doing the work in no contact. They can't keep pretending you're the bad guy forever, especially when you're not reaching out or bothering them anymore. They can try and keep that facade up in their mind, but it's really not going to hold together well, because over time, the good parts about you and the relationship that they tried to push away start creeping back in, and they can't help that. It comes out in daydreaming or now and again. But it's important that you really stick to these strategies. Many of you guys don't stick to the strategies. Not reaching out for 3 weeks is not going into no contact, okay? Don't delude yourself. Bringing stuff to their house that you think that they need, I had somebody do this last week, is just an excuse. Don't lie to yourself. Stay in no contact. Keep working on yourself. Let them sit with it. Let them sit with the loss. If they're missing you, it is very often that you'll see these signs slowly start to happen more and more. If they're not interested, you'll see indifference. You can't force them back. You can't make them want to come back. All you can do is be ready to be the best version of yourself when they do reach out. I highly encourage you to stay committed to personal growth. Do the Creative Healing course 30 minutes a day. Do the workbooks 30 minutes a day. The clients that I have that do that are far outpacing the ones that are watching no contact videos. It's not even close, guys. You don't understand until you actually are in it and doing it. Your mindset shifts completely from obsessing about them to obsessing about yourself and growing and healing and getting to a great place. That is why we created the workbooks and the Creative Healing course. So I highly recommend you check them out. Go look at the videos about the Creative Healing course and what's inside of them. You'll see how much great content is in there, and it can keep you busy, focused on healing and growing for months. And you'll show up like a different person when you have to get in front of them again. And it's not easy. Believe me, I've had to step in front of my ex again. Why do you think I was talking about crying at Applebee's all those years ago? Not that I wasn't doing the work. I was going to Margaret a couple times a week. And I even had a plan for that meeting. And it was going well until she started telling me this story about how much her daughter missed me and loved me. And she was even reenacting the story, saying, you just have to tell Craig to come home. I'm not going to get into it. It was brutal. It was so bad because it wasn't just losing her. It was losing a child that, I raised from, like a year old. And so I watched her learn to walk and talk and all those things. And so hearing how much she missed me was incredibly painful. And I did not see it coming. I knew not to try and talk about the breakup and things like that. But when she started talking about how much her daughter missed me and asked about me and the story she was telling me the stories about how her daughter kept asking everybody in the family where I was and how she had felt relieved that her daughter had stopped finally asking about me. And the brother says, no. She just stopped asking you. She asks everybody else where he is. That is why I was so upset. But I can tell you it is not easy to hold yourself together because you want to show up as attractive and confident. So make your focus personal growth in no contact. It will pay off for you one way or the other. All right. Hopefully this one's been helpful to you. If you'd like to get my help personally, you could do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. That's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.